Okay, you're all probably wondering who the hell this is. Hey guys, it's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to an opening night. I'm here with Lunichi Bunny. Is that pronounced?
Lunichi Bunny.
Yeah, and
Help! They kidnapped me! They gave me the bone and I can't get out!
Shut
Help!
up! Shut up! Anyway, so where were we?
that's a good way to start. Hi Evin. Where'd you come from?
You kidnapped me, you motherfuckers!
You wanted to see the movie.
No, I didn't. You drove me in this.
Are you kidding me? You wanted to see. You invited me down.
You said you were planning to see this, and you figured, fuck, I might as well. Like, I was doomed to see this anyway because my mother was going to take me later on.
Okay. We just got out of The Lion King, not the original, not the Broadway musical, although it's playing in Toronto. The new 2019 live-action movie, and you can probably already tell he hated it.
I'm like Randall from the Monster Inc. Okay, so you see these movies. One is full of original. One, well, not original because it's controversial. One is full of nostalgia and good things to it, and then you have this. You take out everything out of it, and you're left with
Painting?
empty. It was empty, you idiots.
Okay, I don't think it was that bad. Okay, motherfucker, have you seen the Beauty and the Beast remake?
Yes.
That was worse.
I beg to differ.
The Dumbo remake was worse.
I've never seen Dumbo.
That was terrible.
I've heard bad things.
Watch that and then compare. So, okay, so full disclosure, as a kid of the 90s, 92 to be exact, I saw The Lion King at age 2. And that was the first movie I ever saw in my life, in the theater.
Same here.
I remember when I was a kid, 2 years old, when the Stampede came on, running around the theater. Running around. It was an old theater in Scarborough or whatever. But anyway, but I was a hardcore fan. It was my favorite Disney movie for the longest time as a child. I had all the toys. I saw all the sequels. I watched the Timon and Pumbaa cartoon show, which I thought was actually pretty fucking funny. Only when Simba was on, because that's all I gave a shit. I saw the Broadway musical. Broadway musical's amazing. I'm pretty much a hardcore fan. I didn't see The Lion Guard, although I've heard that show's actually not half bad.
It's not half bad. I've seen, like, the first season and, like, the second season. It's actually not bad. Like, if you get behind that, it's for, like really young children, the lessons for them. But the animation's not that bad. Like, it's very different from, like, your usual Lion King stuff, but... yeah. And
it's in continuity where it's, like, in between 1 and 2.
It follows, like, Simba's son, like, before Kiana is. So, if you can get past that and realize that it's kind of its own separate universe, then I think you'll enjoy it.
So, basically, the kid at the end of the original movie wasn't Kiara. That was the son.
Possibly. If Lion King 2 never happened, you could follow that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Even though Kiara's also in, like, the show.
Yeah, oh, continuity, what's that? Well, anyway, so yeah, I've been a fan since I was a kid. I loved it it was my favorite childhood Disney movie. Nowadays, my favorite animated Disney movie is Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's, like, the best one they ever did.
The bells, the bells.
And you know what? They were gonna do a live-action remake, but from what I heard, because of what happened at Notre Dame, they said, we're probably gonna hold on.
That would be a smart decision.
Because that would be a sheer...
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we saw the new live-action remake, if you can call it. I kind of like... Let me put it like this, the way I can describe this movie.
Empty.
Okay. That's gonna be the best part of the episode.
I liked it in some parts, but I just feel like I told you earlier about Beyonce, and, like, some of the singing parts, they were just milking that some of the songs.
Well, I guarantee 10% of the budget went to Beyonce alone.
Yeah.
She probably was like, you want me to do Lion King?
It's
well, I'm
like,
Fox and Cleopatra. You're gonna give me 10%, plus the profits.
It's like when Christina Aguilera was milking the song in Mulan at the ending. Like,
well, it could be worse. Could be Alyssa Milano and Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamp's Adventure.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck her, honestly. But yeah, so with, like, so the way I can describe this is, because obviously, Jungle Book was a huge hit a few years ago. I didn't see it. I heard, like, you saw it.
I saw it. It was alright, like, it was not going to come to, like, original, like, but I could follow really well. There were things that I did like about it.
I actually saw the Netflix Mowgli movie, and I
kinda that one. I've seen that.
I love that one.
I actually prefer that to, like, the Disney live-action one, because even though the facial expressions on, like, the mocap is kind of creepy, but, hey, it gives you, like, emotions, and there are a lot of good shots where, like, you know what, that makes the scene impactful.
Did you see the Netflix one?
No.
Is it Weta that did the effects? Because they did the effects for the
I'm
Disney
not sure.
one too.
I'm not sure if it was Weta or if it was a team that Andy Serkis hired.
Yeah, because Andy Serkis mostly works with Weta. But the thing is, Weta worked on the Disney one, so it's probably like, can you imagine in between the movies, like, wait, which one are we working on? Yeah, it's like, oh, is the Disney one the one with the baby wolf's head on the spike?
Spoilers.
Well, I already reviewed that. But anyway, so I guarantee they saw the technology was great, and they thought, well, let's do Lion King. And I guarantee Jeff Goldblum was there, was like, yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think they should. And that's how I feel about this movie. It's, the possibilities of it could being visually stunning are brilliant here. Like, it looks visually great.
Okay, so for all my harp of it being empty, I do admit that the technology used for, like, making this as accurate to, like, real-life Africa, yeah.
Yes.
But should it happen? And that's where I'm kind of 50-50 on, because, I mean, I'll be honest, when I was a kid on early days of YouTube, I thought, yeah, live-action Lion King would kick ass. Like, this was like a decade, 15 years ago.
They said that about how many Disney movies, and half of them they already messed up.
They've already fucked it up. Look, they're gonna fuck up Hercules. I know you're excited for Hercules.
They already messed up Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, well, what do you expect from the director of Breaking fucking Dawn?
They made the Beast look like a fucking puppy.
They made him look like a cat that you point a laser at.
They had makeup for him that would have looked awesome, and they opted for CGI.
Because it saved more.
Oh, boo!
Hey, no, here's my biggest thing with The Lion King, right? How much was the budget? What was the budget of this thing? Can you please look that up? Because here's the thing. Just a side note. Side note, I was on Twitter, and I was talking with David Kaye, the famous voice actor. He's the voice of Megatron in some Transformer stuff. And I said, I would love for Hasbro to do a live-action Beast Wars movie, because that was in the talks for a while. And I said, David Kaye, if they did it, would you come back as Megatron? He just said, yes. Right? Hasbro responded, and they said, we want to make one, but it'd be too expensive. Disney just made a live-action Lion King, probably on less money than you did on the fucking Bay movies. The Bay movies cost $400 million each or some stupid shit, and you can't spend that much on a Beast Wars movie, which is essentially a CGI Transformers movie. Oh, right, because you let Bay direct 3, 4, 5 fucking movies that all, like, everything. The only one that was good was the first one. 2 is, actually, I haven't seen the last 2, but 2 was the worst.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've watched, like, the same movie over and over with it's just been released at a different year. I would love to see, Michael Bay would be more better, just he'd be better at doing a 4th of July show at this point. He'd be better directing no movie. There's my thing.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to Lion King. So, for me, here, like, we're very mixed. We have different opinions on the film. I mean, we can all agree it's not as good as the original.
It will never be the original.
Hell, I wouldn't even say it's not as good as 2.
However, some scenes did make me cry. I will be honest. I was in tears at one point. We'll
get to that. I think we should start with the beginning. Okay, I'll admit, that blew me away. Like, because they showed, that was pretty much the first thing they probably put together.
Yeah.
And they showed it at D20. I'm like, yeah, okay, bravo, that looked great. See, this was literally me in the theater. When that happened, we see that whole scene, it looks, we're blown away by this, just like, this is beautiful.
Yeah, like.
This is gorgeous. And then, circle my pin out, Lion King, and I was just like Peter Griffin. Done. That's all I need. If it was just that, I would have been like, I don't need to see the rest of the fucking
one complaint I have with that entire opening was Riki, like, holding up Simba. He just sits down, he's like,
he's sitting down like he's taking it. It's like, well.
There it is.
There it is.
In contrast to the original.
Well, I don't think baboons can be all.
Mandrill. He's a mandrill.
Yeah, they can't, like, be.
I mean, sure. Okay. The argument of accuracy is going to be there. It's like, I'll be like, okay, yeah, sure, fine. I'm just saying, even if physically the monkey couldn't do that, it still takes a bit out of the power.
Yeah, there were a few moments where it felt like they kind of toned it down, which I can defend and also undefend, because if undefend's a word. But, the thing I thought, like, I did like how this is meant to be more like a National Geographic documentary. Like, let's put it like this. People have said this. If it was just James Earl Jones narrating it, like he did with that, I think there was like that Earth BBC nature film that he did.
Jeremy Irons supposed to do the same thing? Like, I remember they said he was voicing like a lion documentary.
Well, no, I think that was the lion one, but for the first one, Earth, they got James Earl Jones. I saw that in theater. I was blown away. It was Disney Nature Earth. There's a part where they get these like those dancing birds that kind of do their shit to mate, and you just hear James Earl Jones say, "Get down, baby." That was the funniest shit I think. Just dub that over with Darth Vader and we're good. No, he sees... Mufasa sees Simba going with Ella. Get down! Anyway, so... Okay, so yeah, that was literally...
Speaking of James Earl Jones, let's talk about him, shall we?
I liked what they did here because they updated it. And it's mostly because of his age, because even when I saw Rogue One, I could tell he's getting tired. He's getting up there, and I think Disney's like, let's just get as much of this shit as we can before he croaks.
But to be fair, they do make it useful because you get the feeling that Mufasa is a really old king. King has been there, seen it all, has done the hunting, and he's going through his last leg. So the fact they make that most of the story that he's in just represents that telling Simba, yeah, on the day that I'm not going to be here, this will all be yours.
It's more like I got that feel. I think that was an improvement from the original, right?
I wouldn't say
because he was more young. Mufasa felt a bit more young. Like, whereas Mufasa and that was probably like 50, here he felt like 80, right?
Okay.
And in a way, what I like about it, he's pretty much telling Simba, look, if the fall doesn't kill me, old age will. I may not... what's the spoil?
To the one person in this entire fucking earth that has not seen the original Lion King.
Well, if you haven't seen it and he's like 45, you need to pick up a fucking VHS player at Value Village and just play the fucking thing.
As if he has the money for that.
Oh my god. So you're implying a homeless man has not seen The Lion King? I'm
just saying... There is some 0.001% who has not seen The Lion King.
3PO, never tell me the odds. Anyway, so, that's the thing. So it was more like, bro, I may not make it, like, I may die when you're still a cub, so here, here's the fucking deed to the place. But yeah, there was, I guess I said, it was a bit tamed down, and I mean that for a couple reasons. One, certain animal realism in terms of animals moving, I can understand.
This is a lion's face when he's happy. This is also a lion's face when he is sad. This is a lion's face when he is laughing.
But anyway, I was just gonna point, because, like, I felt some of the locations were really scaled down.
Scaled down, you say?
Okay, Pride Rock, because I remember as a kid, this thing was, like, the size of, like, the castle of Gondor. This was like the Gondor of animation. Like, it was supposed to be this big 150-foot rock, especially at the top, right? I remember, I had the toy of that shit. Okay, when I was a kid, I was huge into Lion King. You know what I used to make for my Pride Rock set? I didn't use the playset. That playset was ass. You know what I used? I used a plastic, those big plastic bins, those blue bins. That was the main point of the rock. And for the tipping thing, I used a, ironing board. Because it has the shape of Pride. I used to do that. And I would put all my little action figures on top. I put all the animals on there and everything. And know what I would always do when they do the circle life thing and recreate that? And then I'd just be like, what do we do now? Okay, let's walk away. You know, because what do the animals do after? Like, it's like after they just see it, it's like, ooh, a lion. Just an elephant at the side. I'm gonna go take a dump!
I mean, it's kind of like with the royal wedding. People just show up to celebrate that point, and then they just go back home.
Or no, it's the red wedding. The lions just eat everybody there.
Or
the Lannisters send their regards. They're lions.
I know what they do.
What do they do?
They have fun night.
Just a big... No, it's the Christmas... No, it's the... No. What they do is... No, to celebrate the lion's Simba's birth, they're like, this calls for a celebration. Let's sacrifice the antelope here and eat his flesh. And it's like, blood orgy! It's like that South Park episode, the Christmas Critters. And you just see a fucking giraffe fuck an elephant or something. I don't know.
Okay, before we go too wild, can we stick to what's new, what's different, what's good, what's bad?
Did you know Wood Rocket just made a Lion King porno just this week?
Can we get...
To the point, please.
Okay. So, anyway, Pride Rock, I felt was a bit...
Yeah, it looked very much shorter than...
Too narrow and too short.
And plus there's a big fucking hill on the side. The whole thing with Pride Rock, it's almost meant to be a fortress. in a way. Heavily guarded. Like, I get they can't build a wall. We will not build, that's Scar in this one. We will build a wall around Pride Rock. No, but it's more like, I think it didn't feel as castle-y enough. It felt like, cause, you got the rock, but then you got this big fucking hill. How about take the hill? I'll be king of the hill, not king of the rock. Right?
What?
Damn it, Chapman! You weren't supposed to go into the Outlands. Speaking of Outlands, I did like what they did with the Elephant Graveyard here, because it kind of looked like Zira's castle from the second film. So this film felt like, if anything, almost like, okay, it's like a fan film. It's like, it's almost like, like those YouTubers that, like, make this short film based on something, and it's like a redo of a classic, and it looks great, and then everybody's like, why don't they make this into a film? You know what I mean? That's this movie. Or you know what it is? It's like our Kong remake. It's got effort, it's a tribute, kind of soulless. A couple people have said it's soulless.
Empty! It was empty! Okay, I made my...
You're gonna get watch, they're gonna do a live-action Monsters, Inc. It's gonna be fucking terrifying. No, you know what it is? Oh my god! They do a live-action one, they get John Goodman back, and then he messes up Mike's car with a golf club. This is what happens, Mike, when you fuck a monster in the ass! Okay. Alright, anyway, so...
Okay, so
we're getting off top.
On the part of the soulless, like if you take like a single frame and like that, it'll look good, but you don't really feel the motion, which is kind of bad because I thought like most of the voice work was fine. Like,
yeah, the cast. People complain about the cast. I thought the cast was solid. In fact, I'll say this: Donald Glover was better than Matthew Broderick. I love Matthew Broderick. I love the look of that Simba, but man, Donald Glover did way better.
The cast is good, but the singing.
I mean,
could have been a little.
Do you want to talk about the songs? I think I'll leave that to you because where's your piece of paper?
Boy.
No. Just get the paper. This is what his overall thoughts are. Bring it closer. Be prepared for disappointment.
Of all the songs they cut short and took away, that song, like, okay, when I first heard they were doing Lion King, I heard that there was going to be no Be Prepared, and that was the deal breaker, like, yeah, I'm not going to go see this shit.
So people did a pickup shot.
Yeah, and then I heard that there actually is going to be a version of Be Prepared, like, oh, I'm going to hear it. And then I heard it was shortened down. It was like, I want to go and hear it for myself, but I want to say my disappointment, like, my main problem with the movie is that the things they take out are kind of crucial to, like, the original story, and the things that they put in are frustrating. Like, they took out, like, the first section of Be Prepared doesn't happen. It's at the very end, like, the last verse, so it's the last shot, and it's like, okay, I'm pretty sure it'd be a bad entry of, like, a realistic Reich of hyenas doing the goose step, so, like,
and,
yeah.
The fucking steam thing, that's the thing. I think it was more just, like, there was no steaming.
I can get behind them cutting it short for that reason, but what they did with the version, it was so disappointing, and, like...
Well, it more has to do, I think, in my opinion, how they changed Scar's character a little bit.
Okay, let's talk about the change in Scar's, because I actually like what they did with the change in the character.
I like the actor.
This Scar feels a lot more brutal, a lot more sinister, and he has more motivation to be jealous for both his brother and his nephew.
Like, they bring up the whole, in the opening, where they're, like, Scar and Mufasa, and, like, Mufasa's like, is that a challenge? And, he says, I wouldn't dream of challenging you, unlike the last time. So it's implied that something happened there why he's not right to be king.
And hence the scar on his face, because
like,
it's implied that Mufasa is the one that responsible for that not only took his original name, but planted in his face.
And I kind of like that detail, but it's more like, I did like that about this remake. They added more dialogue to almost the political aspect of the kingdom. I actually really liked that. That improved, because the thing is, you watch the original, like, as an adult, it's like, because we're all politically correct, like, what are the politics of this world? You look at fucking, let me put it like this, like, somebody pointed out in a review of Swan Princess how the politics don't work in that kingdom, and he's like, the politics in Game of Thrones make more sense in this. And this is the thing, if the original is Lord of the Rings, this is Game of Thrones. Except, and...
Take that as you will.
No, here, why? One's more family friendly, one's more brutal. One is a great achievement and worth every day. The other is total fucking shit.
We'll get to that shit.
This is season 8 as a Lion movie. But like, yeah, I did like what they did with Scar's character. I like how they kind of made him more. The one thing I actually didn't mind the bit where he kind of was like, "Hey, you know, Mufasa's dead," and goes. It's literally that Robot Chicken skit with the fucking like the hyena that calls in the lion and goes up to the lioness and is like, "So, single, huh?" That was literally the Scar in this. Like, Mufasa's dead. So, Sarabi, single, eh?
Yeah, the main thing that they added is that Scar had really obsessive feelings for Sarabi, and that was one of the reasons why he really wanted Mufasa dead.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. Like, again, it kind of makes me want a prequel.
Well, no, I think it's a sort of nod to some of the cutscenes they did, and the musical, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, they kind of added a few things. But one thing I'm kind of disappointed, because they only added it in the album. I thought it was going to be in the film. They said they were going to add "He Lives in You." They have that in the soundtrack, and it's on the soundtrack, but it's not in the movie. What the fuck? But like with Scar, it's like I did like how they add kind of a little bit of the madness of King Scar without it being a musical.
Yeah. Well, my one complaint about Scar is mostly in his dialogue. Like, I like his performance. I like the actor's delivery. It's just that some of the dialogue that he sings, I don't really buy it. Like, I buy it more when it's from Jeremy Irons' Scar and not from this Scar. Like, if they maybe have changed the lines to, like, mean the same thing, but in a more brutal delivery with this brooding and sulking sinister lion, then there would be a problem. But I also heard that they apparently turned down, like, Jeremy Irons, and that he was disappointed that he wasn't invited back.
It was more, well, I do like the actor who kind of replaces him. I think it's the guy from 12 Years a Slave. I think he's one of the, like, I'm not saying he didn't do a good job. He did good. It's just that, well, again, like,
they passed off the opportunity to get both James Earl Jones and Jeremy Irons?
Well, then that would mean you have to bring back Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane.
Matthew Broderick's replaceable.
True. Well, that's a lot of replacements.
Okay.
But, yeah, everybody makes that joke here. Anyway, but, like, what was I gonna say? But, yeah, it's like, the whole thing with Scar is great. What's your opinion?
Honestly, would have been cool is if they added kind of like a flashback of how Scar got his scar, right? Mm-hmm. And of how he became kind of like second place and Mufasa got to be king instead, right? Yeah. Like that kind. I know they don't really explain it in the Disney movie also, but because this is a live action, so I guess they should have added...
It's a bit more for adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
While there was kids in the theater and there was mild violence in the movie.
There was one kid coming out crying, and I wasn't sure if it was like because it was too scary or because they ruined my childhood, even though I'm only 6.
Either way, that child isn't happy. Congratulations, Lion King 2019.
Screaming.
You made children scream.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, and actually, speaking of that, yeah, like this is actually a lot more violent than the original. Yeah, it's a little hot. We do that a little time. But anyway, that's a point. It's a lot more. Oh my god, it's a lot more violent, and you know what? I kind of love it for that because I'll be honest. The only reason I go see any big animal movies like this is to just see animals fighting. Consider me a guy who would go to like a cockfighting pit. Like, where they do that shit, the animal fighting. But I wouldn't do that. But, like, if it's a movie where, like, animals are fighting, like, I want to see Jungle Book because I want to see Baloo kick the shit out of Bagheera. Or out of,
Shere Khan.
And then Shere Khan versus Bagheera, it's like, that's a match made, that's a cat fight made in heaven.
The other thing that kind of annoyed me was, okay, lions have sharp claws, okay? When a cat scratches you, you bleed.
I wanted more blood.
When they were scratching each other and hitting each other, not a single scratch. Like, maybe a couple, but there was no, like, actual...
aren't we forgetting, like, the big improvement for, like, Mufasa's death?
Okay, I actually kind of really... Like, a lot of people have been complaining about saying, how embarrassing, that's hilarious, right? Like, I saw somebody... It leaked online. I did see the leak online, and all I saw was him punching him in the face, but somebody, like, overdub it with, like, fucking, Dave Chappelle going, smack in the face! Wham! Right? Kind of funny, but in the film, people said, oh, he doesn't do the claw thing. He does do the claw thing.
Yeah, you see it. It's just that he doesn't really let them. He's like,
he punches him right in the fucking face. And I kind of like that. Because, you know what? That's what cats do. Like, they don't, like, go like, you know, like, ah. They go like, you know, you piss them off, boom.
Right.
You know? And I like that. And by the way, yeah, with the CG being very photorealistic, it kind of, like, there were times I couldn't tell if that was CGI or if that was real. There were, like, a couple locations.
That sand in the desert.
There was no fucking way that was CG, except for the footprints of Simba.
Okay.
Like, although in that scene I was thinking, when are the carnivores from dinosaurs going to show up and eat them? And that's another thing. There were several times in this movie, if this is to be realistic, several times you look at Scar alone with Simba, and I'm just like Daffy Duck, where he's like, "Shut him now! Shut him up! Eat him now! Eat him! Gobble him up!" And like, where's Simba? And it's like, I don't know.
I will, okay. As much as I'm going to harp on this movie later on, there is one thing that I think was vastly improved upon. The hyenas.
I like that, because they actually added more politics, where, like, yeah, they've been at war, and basically Scar comes in to say, to forge an alliance.
Well, it's not just war, it's actually just in nature. Hyenas and lions are enemies to each other.
Yeah, and it's more like, I like how Scar, like, that's another thing I like, because the scene where Scar tells Simba about the elephant graveyard, and like in the original, you know, he's like, "It's our little secret." Simba walks away, and he's just like, "Ha ha ha ha." This one, you don't see that.
No.
And he kind of gives off way like, so is he kind of concerned for his nephew, even though he still wants to kill him?
No, it's obviously that he doesn't. You see him, like, you hear the dialogue and his reaction, you get the feeling like it's almost taunting to him how he lost his position from Mufasa and now Simba.
It's not even like dramatic, like Jeremy. It's more of like sarcasm. Mm-hmm. It felt like sarcasm, and I didn't mind that, but it kind of tricked me a little bit. And I actually did like that when like Simba, Mufasa, and Nala leave Elephant Graveyard. We don't see Scar on the cliff. We don't see, and it's only implied later, like when he goes back, like, oh shit, what's going on here? And you're like, oh, he's forging an alliance. But yeah, like, I agree, the hyenas, and the fact they kind of live in Zira's lair, which kind of sets up for Lion King 2. Like, I kind of want, like, you want to see a sequel to this.
Yes. The ending of the movie was actually really good. I will be honest. There
were a few times I got the chills. Circle of Life, the Stampede, despite being a smaller location, did make me feel like, oh shit, like that was brutal. Like, you see Mufasa getting banged, like, oh, ow, like you're thinking like I was literally like I had the same experience as the original. I'm like, fuck, like you felt it.
I don't know, like
I felt it.
You were the only one in the theater who was actually screaming.
Because like it's mostly because like it's so realistic that I'm like, this kid's gonna get run over like roadkill.
Yeah, but like I would have really loved like a recreation of the shot where it just zooms onto Simba's face of surprise. Like that's
the Jaws shot.
Yeah, like that's the thing. That's just like there are so many scenes that are missing there that they kind of just take us away from the experience.
And again, it felt contained and small, the gorge. Like, I remember the gorge being like the freaking Grand Canyon in the original.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, like, although, you know what's funny? I kind of looked at you and I heard the stampede coming down, and I was just thinking, run, Bob, run, Jack, run, Carl! Because all I think is Kong now. That's actually a joke I have for the Lion King, like, animated movie review, is I'm going to include, like, that music and, like, when they're being chased by the piranhas.
Mufasa's death was...
I liked it a little more.
It was depressing, like Sarah McLachlan's commercials.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, when he falls, it almost looked like they just tossed a real lion off a fucking cliff, and that's what made it like, oh, shit.
It's really
like, I won't say that the death isn't still impactful for me, it's just that I still prefer, like, the original. The thing about this adaptation that I did like was Scar coming in from the back and kind of putting the blame on Simba. Like, I would buy my uncle being surprised at what's happening and telling me, oh, you've done this bad thing, your only option is to get away now.
He's like Angry Joe, you done fucked it up. One thing I will say, actually, again, an improvement, I actually think, honestly, the biggest improvement in terms of lion characters was Simba. Because, one, both actors replacing Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Matthew Broderick, I'd say are actually way better than the original.
Yes.
Simba, the kid Simba, like, when his dad's dead and he's trying to tell Scar, like, I didn't mean it, you feel him crying. You feel him, like...
It made me tear up.
Like you can feel it, like, the emotion.
Cried when he died.
Yeah, but it's like when Simba's telling you, like, it was an act, you can feel, like, he's literally having an, like, it's, like, he's crying and shit. Whereas the original, it's like, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, he was a heartthrob back then for little girls and shit. I get that, but it's like, there's times in that movie where it's like, he comes off as an asshole. Right? And then, but when he's crying and shit, I don't feel Taylor doing it. I don't feel Taylor's performance in that scene. Like, this one, I felt it more. Like, it felt like, almost like a kid who saw...
More sincere.
He just saw his dad got shot, and there's no police to come and help. Yeah. It felt that way.
Plus, the cry for help was actually more distressful than the actual Disney movie.
Yeah.
And
at first, because they were blurring it out so much, I'm like, they're not going to show the body, are they? Like, at least they are animated, they'll show the fucking body. They showed the body, I'm like, okay.
And that's when I was, like, starting to bawl my eyes out.
The only thing I was hoping for would be, like, Shrek 3, where, like, there'd be a little fly going... And maybe a little bit of blood on his body, because, like, that's the thing I wonder about with Mufasa. Like, you can kind of, the audience to kind of decide how he died. Even in the originals, like, how do you fall from that and still die? Like, they say cats land on their feet. Right? That's the saying. Cats land on their feet. But it's like, okay, unless the herd was going so fast that they just mauled him, like, fucking with their horns and shit, and then, like, but then it's also implied he fell on a tree branch and it basically broke his spine?
That could have happened because the tree was completely damaged.
That's the deleted scene. The autopsy of Mufasa's death. It's like, there's an autopsy. It's like CSI, and then they're like, wait a minute. There's claw marks on his arms. A lion did this. It's like, and like, get Dave Caruso as a lion. Anyway, so, yeah, like, I actually really liked that sequence. So that gave me the chills. And I thought this was a better final battle than the original. I loved the final battle in the original. It's epic, it's awesome, but this one kind of, in terms of animals fighting, it looked pretty fucking awesome.
It looked more brutal.
Okay.
It's just missing the one shot that counts.
When Timon and Pumbaa started singing
let's talk about Timon and
Guest...
Pumbaa, because, oh my god.
Okay, we'll start with Hakuna Matata.
I literally lost my shit. Okay.
Seth Rogen was nailed casting. That was their first decision. He was actually... Timon, Pumbaa, and Zazu, actually. Zazu was a lot better here.
You know who else was a lot better?
Who?
Senji.
Yes, okay, the highness. Yeah, so they kind of made it where, you know, she's kind of leading the pack. And on top of that, I think, like, Benzi and Ed are voiced by the same two who are the...
They're renamed in this one, but...
They're essentially the same characters.
They're essentially the same characters that they're the comic relief. Well, Senji's, like, the hierarchy, because in a hyenas, you know, it's reverse where the female is the strongest and the leader of the pack, and the males are actually treated poorly.
Yeah, but who are the voices for those two?
I don't know about one of them. I know one of them is voiced by Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah, and it felt like, it's almost like, hey, are you guys doing Toy Story 4? Yeah, come over here, let's do some recording for Lion King.
Okay. I know the other one wasn't voiced by Jordan Peele, though.
Okay. But yeah, I thought that was an improvement. But with Timon and Pumbaa, again, Seth Rogen was great, but I want to talk about John Oliver as Zazu. I liked it. Again, I liked it more than this one because originally he's fucking annoying.
I mean, you can't really replace, like, the original actor because
Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
But the thing is, they kind of made him do cool
different
stuff.
They made him do a lot more different where
his
voice is actually moving with his motions.
Yeah. On top of that, I like that, though. I like the animation on that. On top of that, he's doing something important. Like, he's helping Nala escape. He's helping chase off hyenas, like, and fighting in the battle. I'm like, that's cool. Like, he's pecking off all that shit and everything. I just gotta get the lights back on. But he's pecking off hyenas. And yeah, again, like, back to Nala with Beyonce and stuff. Yeah, they overdid or played it a little bit. That was their ticket thing. And we'll get to the song in a sec. But I did like how that fight with her and Shenzi was actually pretty kick-ass.
Oh, yeah. I dug that.
But although at the time, it's like... Because she's like... The one part where she's like making that speech of like, are you with me, Lions? I'm like... Girl power?
I mean, it wasn't as blatant as Endgame.
Just play the Powerpuff Girls music, dude.
Thus the Powerpuff Girls were born!
No, I was thinking more like, it was like, almost like, well, I can understand because actually in realistic terms, again, lionesses do most of the work. So I can give them that. But yeah, like, the whole battle is great, and the one thing I really like, I know you had problems with the final battle between him and Scar. First of all, I thought it was brutal. I thought it looked great. Like, if this was lions fighting, yeah, I've seen enough National Geographic to know that's how they fight. I did like that, a lot of the dialogue they added, and especially in the fight, because I saw that in the trailer. But this is where I was like, I like this Scar, where he's like, you can't win, Scar. And he's like, this is my kingdom, my destiny. And I'm like,
All right.
I love that. I love that line.
That I do dig about the fight. Like, the fight does look more brutal. It's just missing the one shot from the original that would have made it. Because here's the importance of that shot. With Scar jumping in the fire in front, Simba's taking a cue from Nala and pushing her off to pin him down. Except it works in the way of kicking him off.
But they changed the pin in this where Nala has her claws in his head. Right, so I don't know how they could do that. Although, to be fair, I agree that shot was missing, because I remember seeing the re-release in 3D, and that was the one shot where it's like, I think they extended it for the 3D release, where he jumps at you, and you're just watching through there like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because there's a couple of times, and like, there were a couple of jump scares, where I'm just like, when the lions came up, like, Jesus! Right? Like, exactly with that bug. But I like the fight. I saw you were there were a couple times where you're like, the fight where you're like, that's it. Right,
that's it. Was my initial reaction for like the
jump part.
The jump, the short of be prepared. There's also some really uncomfortable close-ups of some of the animals.
Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. But the one thing I really was hoping for with the final battle, I think it would have been a good poetic irony, is that Scar kind of tribute to Lion King 2 and other things, because I like this thing. Well, first of all, when I was hoping Simba would be like it'd be more emotional, where he's gonna just straight up murder Scar because of what he did. He's so full of rage. And then when Scar says, you wouldn't kill your own uncle, then Simba would be like, pull back, and be like, wait, I'm becoming him, like, I'm not, and then when he kind of pulls back and says, I'm not like you, that would have been a bit stronger, but they didn't do that. But I was really hoping that Scar would hold on to the ledge, and, like, Simba would kind of reach out to help him, and, like, maybe, like, you know, Scar's, like, gonna, like, grab him and get him up, and then attack him again. But it's almost like he attacked too quickly, and then he falls. Mm-hmm. You know? It's kind of like, there's that Inuyasha episode where Kikyo's on the cliff, and she's, like, got the lightning. No. But think of that with Scar, right?
So depressing.
So, that would have been a bit stronger, plus it would have been a good poetic irony.
You know what it was a bit stronger, though?
What?
His death.
You thought his death was stronger?
Oh, no, like...
It was a bit more brutal.
It was a lot brutal. You actually see him try to fend off on the hyenas, but the ending shot with Senji voicing for where you did, there is one thing that you spoke true. A hyena's belly is never full. And then you see her eyes glowing up hellishly. It's like, I think that was done better.
Yeah, there were a couple... I did like, there's a couple of shots with Scar, like, especially in that battle, where he just has this look like, oh, fuck. I fucked up. Okay, like, there's that one shot I really like where they close up during the battle, and he just looks around, it's almost like he's thinking, oh, I just wanted, you know, to be king, and I didn't realize, fuck, I fucked up. And then, literally, it's not like the original where, like, he sees Simba and runs off. It's almost literally like they have that shot of him realizing, and then you see Simba, and he's already wide enough, so he's almost like, fuck this shit, man, this shit's the worst. Right?
Right.
But, yeah, it was like, I did like that. I did like, again, going back to Timon and Pumbaa, they were the best parts. They were hilarious.
No doubt. They made Timon sound like he was camp gay.
No, but as if you couldn't make him gay enough with Nathan fucking Lane.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but I liked Pumbaa in this. Seth Rogen is perfect gay. I even really liked what they updated when he fought the hyenas, because in the original you don't see it.
Right.
Right? But in this one he's like, you motherfuckers call me fat?
And then he charges at them.
And he's like, yeah, I'm like, I like that. You know, I like that. I like that with him. So he's like, you know.
And
like
that's
that
how you deal with bullies.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I do like that in Hukamuta they're actually introducing to like Simba like their home. I do like there's actually more animals within them.
There was some good jokes in there. Like, it's like, oh, do we eat the antelope? Antelople's like, what the fuck? This thing, they did improve the comedy here. And I think because that's the thing that they do with all animated films. And even, I guess, with the remakes, too. It's like, look, you've got these comedic characters, let them improv. And there were times, like, yeah, they improv some stuff, and it was funny. It improved.
I mean, that's kind of another problem, though. They let, like Timon and Pumbaa improv and, like, do their own thing and shit, but compared to, like, everyone else, it's like, that's the most emotion you're gonna get out, because, like, all the other lions are kind of subdued.
Yeah, it's, but there's that, but yeah, like, I like Hakuna. Here's the only thing, too, again, going back to the small scale of this film, Hakuna Matata and Pride Rock aren't really that far away. At least you got the impression in the original that from there to Hakuna Matata took, like, a week at least from location. Like, it took a couple of days. Here it's almost like, if you had a car, you could drive there and back in, like, 2 hours. you know? And it felt really small scale. Like, this is a big, epic world, and you kind of shaved it down. Like, even Pride, like, they bring up whole Pride Rock, everything like touches in my kingdom. But even the shadowy places, like, oh, that's not, but in this one they say that's not our kingdom. And it's like, so you only control about a couple of acres? What the fuck? You only hold a few acres? Who runs the rest of the fucking provinces? You know, does there, like, a Donald Trump lion? Or is there a Donald Trump elephant because Republican? Is there a Hillary... Oh, and actually, it's like, I was gonna say, is there a Hillary Clinton cheetah? And speaking of that, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, which I actually did like, because you're thinking, how are they gonna make this cartoony shit work? They made it, you know, realistic, and it worked. I was a little scared.
It's mostly just them running around trying to hide.
But I like that. I like that. But I did like that shot of the cheetahs, which kind of implied, I guess the cheetahs and lions are allies. Like, they're kind of an alliance.
I mean, they're both big cats. So
big cats.
Go figure.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be great? Like, because this is, I'll bring this up later, but yeah, it's like, I like that. But yeah, it's kind of scaled down. So, yeah, I liked all that with Hakuna Matata and stuff, and the battle was great. I'm trying to think what else. Okay, so yeah, the visuals are great. I thought the score was a decent upgrade. Not an improvement, an upgrade. Because it's still Hans Zimmer.
Not the upgrade. They basically reused the exact same score.
If you were listening to the score, like, especially...
Okay, there's, like, minor differences, but it's the same songs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Can we be honest? We were all singing along to that shit.
Yes.
I remember in the 3D re-release a couple of years ago, we were all singing along to that shit.
That's because the original's just so good.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get to Timon and Pumbaa. Speaking of songs, before the final battle, instead of doing the luau thing, they start with Be Our Guest. I gotta admit, that was very clever and really funny. And you know what I'm thinking? Hey, better adaptation than the live-action one.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the Gaston sequence in Beauty and Beast was actually pretty good.
I was thinking, when I was starting, I'm like, no, come on! You can't fucking do it. Yeah, there were a couple of moments where, like, that was unintentionally funny. I think the Be Our Guest was intentionally funny, was supposed to be funny.
So speaking of songs that were kind of mishandled, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
It's daylight!
It's daylight!
Well, I can defend that a little bit.
Okay,
No,
the song is Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Well,
Tonight means dark.
the peace the evening brings, it's summer, it's evening right now, it's 9 or 8 o'clock at night, and the sun is still out.
Stop trying to defend this. You're not defending this one.
No.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's supposed to be like...
It's a romantic setting.
Yes.
You take your girl or your lover in the night and you get all moody and stuff.
And then you get Nala giving you fuck me eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Which was not in this
one. It makes sense because it's sung in the fucking dark.
But it's more just like, yeah, like, I mean, I'll admit, like, I didn't like that one. I mean, I like the original more than that, and I do like the Elton John version a little more.
I hated the song. Personally, I hated the song.
It felt rushed.
It felt rushed, but it also felt forced. Like, you're basically singing high notes when it should be a soothing song.
Yeah. Although I did like how it wasn't like in the original where it's like, oh, I miss you too, and then they start like smashing.
That's another thing that made me upset. They rushed that. Like,
well, that part, the song, yes, but the
not the song. Like Nala and Simba meeting each other.
Well, I thought that was good build up. They added more.
It was terrible.
No, because in
the original where Nala's confused, like, how do you know my name? Who are you? It's like, it's me. And then and then they crash like they haven't seen each other. That was great. And then it's immediately just rushed into that.
Yeah, as soon as she pinned him down, he was like Nala,
Simba?
and I'm like,
oh, hey, but that's actually sometimes how people are. It's like if we never, it's like if you mean like, hold on, shit, like now it's the love tonight. Anyway, okay. So when fucking Simba and Nala, like, it's imagine if we never saw each other in a couple of years, and because you're really recognizable, and I'm recognizable, I'm like, oh, you're like Chess, and you're like Jack, I'm like, I would just be like, oh, shit! Right? Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, who the fuck are you?
Okay, but here's the difference, though. You know, I didn't think you were dead!
I'm not dead! I feel fine! That's Mufasa. I'm getting better! Scar, no, you're not, you'll be dead still in a minute!
We're losing that.
Okay, we're losing it. Anyway, so, yeah, some of the songs were rushed. Be Prepared and Can You Feel, of course. I liked Hakuna Matata. I love Circle of Life. I really kind of dug that new song they put when they're going back home.
I actually do like the way that they set up with Nala leaving, and then I will get to the one scene I hated about this movie.
Okay.
But anyway,
No, but
I do
think...
like the scene where so Nala actually leaves for herself. Like she realizes that Simba's not.
Intense.
Yeah, Simba's not going to listen to her, so she just leaves the oasis by herself. And then when Simba has his turn around, he actually catches up to her, and they leave together. And I thought that's good.
I like that, and the Beyonce songs in there. But anyway. So, and the last chilling bit, I did, again, you're right, the ending, like, when he's going up the rock and that music's playing, I love that track. They put that in the trailer, I'm like, the chills down my spine. I was like, that, I did like the ending. The ending felt like the music was fit perfectly. But, as I was saying, so, like, the Be Our Guest bit is intentionally funny, like, they made it a comedy. You know what was unintentionally funny? Simba's fur on a piece of shit rolling around with the dung beetle. I'm sorry, I don't care if that was meant to, like, I like the whole thing. It's kind of like Forrest Gump, where it's like this nice nature shot. It's like add a lot of nature padding. I will admit this movie's a little padded. They made it 2 hours when the original's like, what, an hour and a half? They added an extra half hour of padding, like the mouse and shit, right?
They cut the short time, but be prepared.
Yeah.
They rushed the Mufasa scene in the skies with Simba. They cut off completely Rafiki's whole lesson to Simba for that.
Well, hold on, I'll get to that for a sec. I'll do the Rafiki bit in a sec, but anyway. But I do...
Thousands of dollars was spent making CGI shit! Close up! That is this movie in a nutshell, Jack! It's a little bit of Simba roll around his shit with Disney as the dumb beetle rolling around!
Yeah,
Dog Walker was onto something!
I'm sorry.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Evin, we're sorry you feel that way. He's gone. He's gone. Oh, you don't get that reference, but yeah, Doug. No, I'm just kidding, Doug. I love you, man. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, down. Anyway, so, fuck you. It's cool. Okay. So, again, unintentionally funny. I thought, like, that's so stupid, it's hilarious.
Stupid mosquito.
But I mean, you're right, yeah, they did pad it, but I did like kind of the nature shots, because, again, the CG looks great here. But I was gonna say, okay, so one thing, I agree a little bit, but again, you can see it a little bit, but it adds more realism. Yeah, I'll agree, the whole remember who you are scene was butchered.
Not just the remember who you have seen, the whole lesson was for free.
But we'll get to that in a sec, but here's the thing, because in this one they don't show the CGI Mufasa in the sky. In this one, it's more meant to be, it's almost like the Ten Commandments where God sees Moses, because again, this movie is Moses and Hamlet and stuff, so they're kind of reflect that. So the idea is, I guess Mufasa is God, right? But I noticed this, in the lightning bolts, you see his shape.
I didn't really see
I saw his shape. I saw the shape, but it's kind of implied that. But I'll agree, yeah, I missed the cloud part. That shit was in the original poster, and it looked amazing. But yeah, I'll agree.
You stay on. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes, Mufasa, stay the fuck on this thing.
They're giving him the business, I hear.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I felt James Earl Jones, that was really nice to hear. Because if they had gotten anybody else, like, if they gotten Morgan Freeman, I'd be like, now you don't give a shit. It wouldn't have been without James. But anyway, so yeah, I agree. But here's the thing, you bring up the whole message thing. The past can hurt and everything, right? And learn from...
Okay, so, well... It's a crucial scene because that's the movie to stop running away from your past as a responsibility and face them, because while they hurt, you have to learn from them. The fact that they cut that scene is probably my biggest gripe of the movie as a whole, because it's such an important scene.
Well, two things I can kind of minor defend it. I don't know if you'll agree or not. First of all, I did like the line he had where he says, I am Simba, son of Mufasa. It's like, It's like, I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn. I like that kind of shit, right? Like, this is like this guy's son, this is Jack, son of Walter, right? I like that kind of shit in movies, right? And especially like stuff with kingdoms and shit. The thing is, though, it is kind of a fix of the original, because he learns that, in the original, he learns that lesson, and when he goes back and faces his past, he's a fucking wuss about it. And he lies about it.
Okay, to be fair, well, he didn't lie.
Well, whatever it was, it fucked up the lesson and everybody hated him.
Well, that's the thing, though. This was the way they handled that was done better than the original. That I will add. Like,
that's the thing.
way they reveal Scar is actually the murder of Mufasa.
They traded that for the lesson. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay, because that one's made for children. This is more adult. And that's the thing, I want to bring it up, because I do like that bit where, you know, like, he does the whole I kill Mufasa, and then Simba... I like how Simba, like, literally bites his fucking jaw. Like, Jesus Christ, right? And then he's like, I'm gonna fuck... Like, you did it, you lied, motherfucker. And then, like, I love how he's, like, actually, like, look, he's trying to kill me! Look at this fucking asshole! And then, like, you see Nala or Sarabi, like, wait a minute. You said you weren't there at the guard, so how did you know that you saw what was in Mufasa's eyes?
And then he was like, "Oh fuck, I'm busted."
Yeah, and you hear the audience. It's like if you had a ghetto audience, they'd be like, "Oh shit!" And then like he's like, and then the Scar's just like, "Fuck this, kill him." You know, I like that. That was nice, and it was a bit more brutal and violent and stuff. Like, so yeah, like I mean, yeah, this is not as good as the original. It's not as good as 2. It's not even as funny as 1.5.
Sorry, there's like a bunch of mosquitoes.
1.5 was funny.
Oh, I thought it was fucking hilarious. No, because that's the thing with sequels. If you can't make it bigger, you make it funnier, and then basically like did a spoof, right? I think it's still funny. But with this one, I can appreciate it's basically Avatar. It's a visual stunning piece, but the story stinks. And when they're talking about Disney's gonna do a live-action Pocahontas, you already have it! You own fucking Avatar! It's the same fucking shit, and you're making 4 sequels out of it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, with live-action remakes, right? I'm with everyone. I'm getting sick of them. There's only one. I told this to Jess. There's only one reason they should be making these. Is that maybe at D23, at some point they make so many that Bob Iger comes out and says, "Surprise, guys! This was a cinematic universe this whole time. Our next big movie, Kingdom Hearts. We're doing Kingdom Hearts, the movie, and we're getting all the cast from all these movies together." That would make sense, at least. If that would make the reason to make these.
But if they did make a Kingdom Hearts movie, that would be literally like Twilight, like 3 movies.
Yes.
Because of how many worlds they would have to travel.
And then you also got to bring in Final Fantasy into this, too, because it is in continuity with Final. So then Disney has to do Final Fantasy as a movie.
I mean, we're getting the remake to next year, so...
Well, technically, Sony, I think Sony owns Final Fantasy?
Yes.
And they work with Disney. They work with Disney.
Yeah,
there
Sony
you go.
Is Equinix Square or whatever.
That's how you do it. So it's like Disney does the live-action remakes, Sony does the Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy movies distributed by Disney.
I will say this when it comes to the remakes. There's 2 types of remakes that I appreciate. It's remakes for bad movies, where they take like the bad movie's original premise that wasn't done well and expand upon that and make it good. Or if it's a remake on a good movie, you at least try something different with said premise.
Yeah, like me, there's movies like I heard just Treasure Planet and Atlantis might be a remake. I'm okay with that.
I'm for that. Like those movies are underrated because I actually do enjoy like Treasure Planet and Atlantis, because they did poorly at the box office, but I thought they were good. Like
there's so many mosquitoes. Sorry.
That's fine. I enjoy them, so to see them try and remake it and bring it back might possibly do justice to the originals.
Attacked by mosquitoes.
I will say this: there's one movie I want to see live action. I want a goddamn live action of The Black Cauldron, because that movie, it's a guilty pleasure. I get it. It's boring. It's stupid. The only good thing about it is John Hurt as the Horn King.
Big boy.
Great villain. He's like Skeletor meets Sauron. It's amazing.
Arise, my army of the dead.
Like, imagine that on a Lord of the Rings scale.
Arise.
Like, imagine a Lord of the Rings scale Black Cauldron. That's the only... And you know what? Hell, you can get Andy Serkis to be Gurgi. Because technically Gollum with pubes. Yeah, like, so for me, it's like, that would be an improvement. Fuck, do Song of the South. Go ballsy, Disney, do a Song of the South. Oh, wait, they already did. It's called 12 Years a Slave. Alright, just kidding. But yeah, I'm just thinking, like, what are, like, that's the thing, so live action, and this is the thing, sometimes live action remakes work, sometimes they don't. Like, we had Dragon Ball Evolution, which, by the way, thank you guys for 100 episodes, but 10 years later, they did Alita Battle Angel, and it's fucking amazing, and you two have to fucking watch that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
One of the best movies of the year.
Behind on movies.
You were bringing up the fact they should do a Card Captors movie, and who did I say should direct it? Chris Columbus?
You said that.
Yeah. So, should we talk about, like, the trailers we got? We only got, like, 2 or 3.
I mean, the trailers we already saw about. We already had our opinions on this. So I don't think there's. Like,
yeah, it's like what? Shark Tale 2, the pigeoning, as I call it. And then we had, what was it? Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Okay, that actually looks pretty solid.
I was very skeptical of, like, the first movie. Like, I think Angelina Jolie does good as Maleficent. It's just that they made her character too anti-hero, like away from the premise and try to make her too sympathetic.
What's the subtitle of this one? Mistress of Evil?
Mistress of Evil.
This should be called Maleficent 2. We're sorry the first one sucks. Here's some cool cosplays for you.
Yeah, no, the costumes look rare.
The first movie, I wanted to literally hang myself.
What?
Ow.
The first Maleficent movie, I wanted to hang myself.
Because it's bad.
Because it's bad. One, Maleficent, in the first place, is not supposed to be good. Okay? Second, she's supposed to be kissed by the prince, but the prince was a fucking pussy, and then she had to do it herself. I am happy that they finally got some fucking common sense to make Maleficent evil in the second movie.
Yeah, because what was the first movie? Oh, it wasn't The Princess Saved the Day, it was lesbianism?
I mean, to be fair, in this new movie, we're getting Michelle Pfeiffer as the queen.
I do like that. I do like that, Michelle Pfeiffer. It's like, Michelle Pfeiffer, no, and here's the thing, I said this before, I've lost faith in Tim Burton. I'll only give a shit if they do a third Batman. Fuck, get Michelle Pfeiffer back as Catwoman. Like, do a whole Dark Knight Returns with...
Or better yet, like... Get
Batman Beyond.
A solo woman with a newer Catwoman with Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's not Halle Berry?
That's not Halle Berry.
Yeah. But yeah, so, like... That's pretty much it. So, final thoughts...
Oh, one more thing. The trailer for Mulan.
Okay, I actually am kind of sold by that, and that's only because it doesn't look like Disney's calling the shots, it's fucking China.
Yeah.
China has full control of that.
Mulan is my #1 childhood movie.
I loved Mulan so much.
Yes.
So it looks like they're actually taking it from the source material that Mulan is based off and really running with it, because there's no Mushu. Like, Mushu's...
They give a shit. And they're making it look like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
It's not going to be a repeat shot of your favorite scenes from Mulan.
The one joke I did make about the trailer, and it's when Mulan's in the battle scene, which actually, okay, Mulan, a battle scene, like Lord of the Rings battle scene, okay, that's awesome. But I'm like, why is she looking like Inuyasha? Why does she dress like Inuyasha?
But I'm glad that they picked her. She's one of my favorite Chinese actresses.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I do like, and my only thing I hope they keep, because the score to that was by the legendary Jerry Goldsmith, and I really hope they keep his soundtrack, because that was a great soundtrack. Not just the song, but the score itself is great. And actually, speaking of which, with Jerry Goldsmith, so again, he did, Jerry Goldsmith, he did Mulan, he did The Mummy. You need to see fucking Legend. You need to see Legend.
It's literally Legend of Zelda.
It's
like live action.
Legend is awesome. Dude, you're not going to regret it. I will send you a copy.
Have to watch it.
Like I said, we'll get together.
Tom
You
Cruise
can
in
show
it.
me Legend. I can show you It.
Okay, double feature.
Yeah.
No, we'll watch the American cut, because I've only seen the UK cut.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so overall me, again, not as good as the original movies.
Never.
But I will admit, it's visually stunning. This is, maybe it's because I enjoyed it more, because, I'll be honest, I was on pot. This is a pot movie. This is a movie to watch high, and I kind of liked it. Like, you can just appreciate it more for the visuals. Like, honestly, you could just turn the audio off and watch the movie mute, 3D, and put on some headphones and crank up Led Zeppelin.
You literally had stars in your eyes, like, watching the movie.
Because I was just like, what? Because, yeah, the drugs helped, I think. A better experience.
There was one point, I forgot what part of the movie, you actually knocked the glasses off your
Okay,
face.
what was the part? It was really funny. Okay, it was when Pumbaa, we see him as a little piggy.
Yes.
That was adorable. And, like, I laughed so hard I knocked my glasses off. I was like, oh, shit.
Because he farted.
Fart jokes are funny. Poop.
As much as I like to harp on how empty this movie feels, like, I will say it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's bad. I don't like it. I probably won't ever see this movie again, but I will admit there are things it does right. There are things I do like that they change here. I just think they got rid of too much stuff that was really solid to the original.
It's not even a remake. It's more of a reinterpretation. It's kind of like the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes.
Basically, if you play like your same video game, except you get a mod and update it with like better graphics.
It's literally like DuckTales remastered. So it's
There you
Lion King remastered.
There you go.
Lion King Special Edition by George Lucas. Mufasa shot first.
Yeah. So for my final verdict, I give it at least a 4.
I'd give it about a 5. It's 50-50. It's a 5 out of 10.
Because I'm nice, I'll give it a 6.5.
No, 1.5 out of 10.
That's...
Well, okay, well, no, I'll be like about a 5.6 maybe. So that's it for this one. This is probably going to be a long one to edit together. I'll probably have this out on maybe Tuesday or Thursday. What are your thoughts on the remake? Post in the comments section below. Special thanks to Evin coming in again. You're a real regular on these now. I got maybe take you to more kids movies. I will take you to that Will Smith Shark Tale 2, the pigeoning movie.
God.
Oh no.
I will take you. That actually, I would just want to see how angry you get at this piece of shit.
It's not that the movie looks bad by any extent. Like the animation's nice. It's just I'm not interested. Like,
One of these
there's
days,
already enough Will Smith movies here. He was in The Genie. He's in this, and he's in another.
and he's a blue character.
And he's in another live action called Gemini Man.
Oh God, stop. But you know, honestly, like one of these days, I want to get you into like a really bad movie and just see your rage on camera.
I don't know. Like I'd probably be laughing at the bad movie more than just being mad. Most movies don't get me mad unless there's this thing. The last movie I was so ungodly mad at was American Sniper.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, let me put it like this. Because a lot of people say, oh, we're just doing, like, midnight screenings from cinema subs. You're basically the Angry Jake of this series, in my opinion. You'll be, like, the one that goes to all the... Like, I take you to Smurfs 4.
There's a fourth...
No, well, if they did make a fourth Smurfs, you know what I mean? Where it's like, because he went to all the Smurfs movie and he hated it.
Right.
It broke him. But, yeah, so thanks to Evan. Thanks to Linichi Bunny. Guys, go check her out on Instagram. I'll put all that shit linked down below. When are you going to start a YouTube channel?
As soon as possible, I'm hoping.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get more reviews on this stuff.
Maybe for, like, Fan Expo, which is next month, maybe I'll start doing con vlogs, and then work from there, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what's the next big movie coming out? If there is any.
What's in August?
Well, I know there's, I still haven't seen Spider-Man. Then maybe we could do that one time.
Homecoming?
Maybe.
No, Far From Home.
Oh, sorry.
Far From Home. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen, any animated movies out?
Not that I know of, no.
We did get the trailer for Frozen 2.
I mean...
That was dark.
It looks interesting. Like, I don't know what it's about. I don't know where it's going. I don't really care where it's going to go, but I am interested enough to see it.
It looks like there's no songs in this one, which I can actually give them credit for doing.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. You know?
The movies I'm most interested in seeing this year actually come in September and October. That's It Chapter 2 and the Joker movie.
Okay, It Chapter 2, Joker, Doctor Sleep, which is a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Yeah, I'll see that.
There's a fuck ton of horror movies. October's gonna be a really good for Halloween movies and shit. Yeah. And that's another thing. Halloween for 2020 and 2021. I'm looking forward to that, because I love that new one.
I mean, they could have done a better title than Halloween Kills.
Halloween Returns.
Halloween Continued.
No, it's like, yeah, because Halloween continues, Halloween ends.
Yes.
Boom. The simplest titles. Alright, guys, well, we'll see you guys in the next video. Post your comments down below, like, subscribe. I'm tired.
And remember, Hakuna Matata.
Be prepared to be bored.
I'm trying to think of what I want to end it with. Hang on. Can you feel the day tonight?
Oh, no.
All that matters is a giant turd rolling down the desert with a dung beetle.
I'm done with you!
What was the joke? Oh, right. I made that joke. Alright. We'll see you guys later. Disney, stop making these fucking movies. If you do Hunchback and you fuck it up, at least you'll be less worse than Hunchback 2.
I'm going to prepare news just in case.